Well, thank you so much to my colleagues who worked so hard on this initiative and shared my vision and the majority leader's vision to outgrow, out-innovate, and outcompete the Chinese Communist Party. We've seen the emergence of a strategic rival over the recent decades that has adopted a state capitalist model. The Chinese Communist Party, with great intentionality, intervenes in markets, attempts to distort markets to the disadvantage of the United States and others. And we need to respond in kind, and the traditional toolkit does not suffice. Meanwhile, we've had such dramatic changes in how our modern economy works that in recent decades we've seen a number of Americans feel overlooked and underappreciated, and frankly, they feel as though they can play a more meaningful part in our growing economy, and we need to invest in those people and in the places that they call home. This legislation does both. This legislation will provide the tools so that we can outgrow, out-innovate, and outcompete Chinese Communist Party and ensure that our values prevail, the values of the Declaration of Independence and not of the communist regime. And so I want to thank my colleagues, I want to thank my staff, and all the others who made this possible, including Xi Jinping and the Chinese Communist Party, who actively lobbied against this legislation. So what it will mean in coming years, coming decades, is more robust federal investment in applied research through our DOE labs and our research universities. That research, in turn, as Senator Cantwell has emphasized, will then be used through intellectual property being used by our private markets, our innovators, our entrepreneurs, our private investors starting businesses in places like Indiana, across the American heartland. That, in turn, will bolster our economic security and national security. We make some critical investments in near-term supply chain resiliency and semiconductors in particular. But what we can expect in years ahead in the areas of hypersonics, advanced manufacturing, quantum computing, autonomous systems, and so many other areas is every bit as exciting to me. So, you know, I've been struck not just by the substance of this legislation, but during this time of tribalistic politics and a lot of cynicism, frankly, about our federal government, I think we should underscore the importance of this moment for the institution of the United States Senate, more broadly of the Congress and our federal government. We can do hard things. We can do really important things amidst all the sturm and drang. It just takes, you know, a handful of committed legislators to demonstrate the leadership, to make hard arguments, and to persist with those arguments over a period of time. And so we have been able to do something that has been much discussed for a lot of years around here, reinvesting in our national innovation ecosystem. And it won't just be this generation, it will be future generations that will handsomely benefit from this important success. And I'm just grateful to play a part in the entire effort. So with that, can we take any questions?
Questions on this subject only?